All right, the Houston Texans had a number of moves. We all know that, but today I want to talk specifically about one move that they made, and I want to actually hear from the head coach on what he thinks about that move. So if you are new to this channel, we are Lions fans. I mean, look what I'm wearing. I'm not hiding it, all right, but you do see a Michigan fan. I got Nico Collins back there. Don't think I didn't know that we were talking about the Houston Texans when I put that back there. I'm just saying. All right, we love talking about teams that the national media ignores. We hope to give you an honest view of what your team is doing. And there is one move, and I know there was a lot of moves, extensions, all this different kind of stuff, but today we're going to focus on one that I loved, and it's with a player that I love. But guess what? I'm not the only person who loves this player. DeMeco Ryans likes him as well. When he was being talked to at the owners' meetings, he had this to say about your new slot receiver at minimum for the year as a friendly target to C.J. Stroud. He's talking about Christian Kirk. Let's see what he has to say. Here you go.
I love Christian's just his speed. That's the one thing that jumps out about him. His redeeming trait, he's a fast player, right? He's made a lot of nice plays in the slot, running the deep routes in the slot, or it's the option routes of winning on third down. So I'm excited to see what he brings on third down. I think he can really, open up a lot of options for us on third down, whether that's especially from the inside position. I think he'll be a friendly target for CJ.
I love what he said at the end there. I think he'll be a friendly target for CJ, and that's exactly what he has been. And I want to talk about what Christian Kirk has been throughout his career, not just in Jacksonville, but honestly throughout his career. He has been, on average, a player who is right around that 72 to 73, 71 PFF rating. And he's a guy, and I wanna actually talk about this a little bit when I go in and I talk about what his stats are over the years. He's one of those guys who has honestly played pretty darn well. Like, I love Christian Kirk. I think there's certain things that he can do that are impressive. In 2021, this is a guy with 1,000 yards. In 2022, with the Jacksonville Jaguars, you remember it, 99 catches, 1,238 yards, and 10 touchdowns. That's impressive. The last 2 years, his seasons have been cut short by injuries. So what he has proven at 5'11", 200 pounds, is that maybe he's not a guy that you want to throw the ball to and have 80, 90, 100 catches. But he's absolutely a wonderful second option and a guy who can have 60, 70 catches. He's a guy who can fill in that Tank Dell role if Tank Dell can't come back. That is something he can absolutely do, and I think that's what you're going to see him doing because, quite frankly, they need someone to fill in that role. So he talked about his speed. Let's go ahead and take a second and let's just look at Christian Kirk's RAS score and let's figure out what some of that athleticism that he's talking about. Now, there's play speed and then there's functional speed. All right, when I look at Christian Kirk, he has a little bit of both. He's in the top 80%. You can see here with a 4.47 as far as long speed. He is a top 80%. He got an 8.05 in that. And if you're not familiar with RAS, then you haven't watched my videos, that's for sure. But it's relative athletic score. It tests against all other wide receivers or whatever other position that player's playing. It tests against all those same players. So he, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 meaning he is the fastest to ever run, he got an 8.05. His 10-yard split, that short speed, that is where he was an 8.8. Very good, quick burst. That's what allows him to get open quickly, and then he has enough speed to keep the separation as well. And it started making me wonder, what does this look like? I mean, is there anybody else that we could think of, just maybe, that has similar ideas? Now, where Christian Kirk, or similar structures, where Christian Kirk struggles is up in here. He struggles as far as size go. He's only 5'10", 200 pounds. So that's what hurt a lot of his RAS score of a 6.25. How about another Houston Texan, Nathaniel Tank Dell? He actually has a slightly worse RAS score. He's slightly slower, a little quick on the burst, the 10-yard split, but he doesn't hold the long speed as well. Horrible size. And what you've seen is a guy who's oft injured because of that size. So what Tank Dell allows for this offense to do, not Tank Dell, I am so sorry, Christian Kirk, what he allows for this offense to do is you have Nico Collins on the outside. You have Nico Collins just wreaking havoc, drawing double teams. People cannot stop Christian Kirk one-on-one. He wins one-on-one matchups with regularity. So when you look at a guy like that who is an adept route runner, who has more than serviceable speed, I would say absolutely plus speed. Again, no matter what metric, he is between the 80th and 90th percentile in speed as a wide receiver, which means he's a top 10 to 20% speed guy in the NFL. Everybody needs to have these. Every team needs to have one of these guys. He can take the top off from the slot or from the outside. That's not the only thing he did, though. And that's, I think, what's important to remember for me is last year when he was playing with the Jags before he got hurt, he had 260 snaps in the slot, but he had also had 74 snaps outside, and he played wide. This is something that he can absolutely do as well. Do I think he's the most effective in the slot? Definitely. I think if what you might remember, and we've done actually Jags stuff on this channel, and one of the things that was so frustrating was when they got Calvin Ridley 2 years ago. And I know none of you are Jags fans, and you probably loved watching this. They tried to force feed Ridley, and it did not work. And when they allowed the offense to flow naturally back through Christian Kirk, their offense started to click. It was one of those 4-game, 5-game win streaks that the Jags love to put together right before they start like a 4, 5, or 6-game losing streak. And that was when Kirk got hurt. They went back on the losing streak. He is a reliable target. I like to equate him to like a mini or a poor man's version of Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's faster than St. Brown. He's not quite as good at getting separation or anything like that, but he is simply a steady, reliable wide receiver. And he's the kind of guy that you want to have in your organization. You want him doing good, and he is a guy that you have the coach that just is excited about. He loves having him in the idea, but what I like about this is he's a guy who gets to work. There's no personality issues. There's none of that kind of stuff. He gets to work, and he will be reliable. You can count on him being where he's supposed to go. And for a young quarterback with a new offensive line and all the things that you're looking at there, it is nice to have a steady, reliable target, or as many of them as you possibly can. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one.